Okay, I'm going to read out all of the other write-ups that I've done. The internet will never produce a high-quality big project ever again. So, this is a continuation of the last submission. If you crowdfund, you compromise. Because you haven't got the resources to begin with, so you're on an uphill struggle, so you either turn it into a marketing scheme, somewhat like Star Citizen, or you end up just recreating the same old tired product, like Banjo-Kazooie's ukulele. And yeah, it's no surprise that in the top 10s, ever since basically the 2012s, maybe, it's always been indie projects that have ended up becoming critically acclaimed. It's just churning out the same content over and over and over again. And indie games just aren't, I don't know, I don't want to make a firm statement on it, but indie games just aren't fun. Not fun in terms of 3D games that you can jump in and play. They just have more content. I do games writing and games designing. These are the most two worthless things right now in the crowdfunded era, because those two things aren't looked for on a crowdfunding community. They don't want good design. They're not going to support Bioshock. Bioshock was originally a game where you played as a little sister, and it was Silent Hill 2, and only because it was developed on for periods of time, they came up with a good game out of that. And it would have been a good game anyway. I mean, nobody will agree with me. It doesn't make a difference. This website alone is enough to filter out those people that might have a viewpoint that's similar to mine. They'll agree with me, but just not out loud. Article 2. Making a quick buck. This is basically where we live now. It's just about making a quick buck. There's no such thing as producing something because you love it in terms of quality. People produce stuff that they love, but that also is coincidentally the handful of things that are also profitable in this modern market. There are obviously cases of people that have gotten money out of what they love, but to ignore all of the people that haven't, you kind of have this warped viewpoint on things. It's largely compromising now. For people that used to create things that they love, you can just compare the two. You can look at old pictures from the 2000s, old concept art for games even, that's a perfect example. You can see the homogeneity in the concept art nowadays. But ultimately I don't care. I give up. Like, I can't possibly change that. It's outside of my control. So yeah, when I write about things that have to do with social viewpoints or ideologies, it's the same responses over and over again. Artists die in a marketing-led society. Rock musicians kill themselves. Suicide rate for men increases, but decreases. Well, no, I'm not going to go into that. That's just silly. It's just irrational. I can make 100 posts on Patreon or on Twitter about life, but it doesn't matter at all. Like, there is no individual. There is no point for subjectivity. There's no qualitative basis. There's preference, but it's preference after the fact. You're not going to promote somebody who has a controversial opinion unless it is political. That's it. That's all you got now. And yeah, it's just a noise machine. It's just a pile of bullshit. You get the same thing regurgitated to you in different formats, unnecessarily, just because it works with YouTube's money-making algorithms. It works with the way that they can sell and the amount of money that they can profit from, and that's it. It's like, it's just noise. There is no sort of content control at all, and like, everybody knows this, but it's like, you're never going to get Reservoir Dogs from somebody who's exposed to top 10 ways to do XYZ over and over again. And yeah, I can't be asked living in a better time. I can't be asked comparing the now to the past, because the past doesn't exist. There's reminiscing and there's obsession. And so game design nowadays is like looking back at a time when people gave a fuck about design, or playfulness, or sort of making an enjoyable experience, because that's how you sell your game. It's just publisher-led. Like, there's no point. And again, yeah, there's no point in me churning out political commenting when it's not fun. Like, creative writing, like how you create a great movie, like Reservoir Dogs, or how you create a original game like Bioshock. I mean, technically you can say, oh, it's a fan fiction for System Shock or whatever. But ultimately, it's about fun, and you can't have fun in an environment that is inherently limiting like that. You have to just be able to create, and then people can judge it afterwards in a qualitative basis, like with the 1 to 5 stars. I don't see that happening.